As Jane sat alone in her dimly lit office, she couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. She had been tasked with making a crucial decision, one that would affect the lives of many. But as she reflected on her options, she realized that her thoughts were clouded by her own biases and emotions. She couldn't trust her own judgment. Was she missing something crucial? Was there another perspective she had yet to consider? As the clock ticked away, the pressure mounted, and Jane knew that time was running out to make the right choice. Can she overcome her own limitations and come to a decisive conclusion? Or will her indecision lead to devastating consequences? So grab your imagination. In this video, learn from Reflective Thinking, from How Successful People Think book by the great author, speaker, and pastor John C. Maxwell. I promise you great pleasure, knowledge, and benefit. With Perseverance Story, Why Does It Take So Long for a Bamboo Tree to Grow? In the End. Welcome to Readbook Channel, a channel that will help you learn skills from authors and speakers, international personalities, to step towards success and wealth in your life. If you are interested, honor me by subscribing. Let's get started. Learn from reflective thinking. To doubt everything or to believe everything are two equally convenient solutions. Both dispense with the necessity of reflection. In today's fast-paced society, there is a constant pressure to be productive and efficient. This can lead to a focus on taking action and achieving results rather than taking the time to reflect and think about our actions and their impact. Reflective thinking is a valuable tool for personal and professional growth, but it often gets pushed to the side in favor of more immediate tasks and goals. Reflective thinking allows individuals to step back, examine their thoughts and actions, and gain a deeper understanding of themselves and their experiences. It is a process that takes time and patience, like a crock pot that simmers and cooks over time. Reflective thinking can also help individuals learn from their past experiences, identify areas for improvement, and make more informed decisions in the future. Reflective thinking is not always easy, and it takes effort to make it a part of our daily routine, but it is always worth the effort. It can help individuals gain a deeper understanding of themselves and their experiences, and can aid in personal and professional growth. A person had a difficult meeting with a coworker. After the meeting, instead of immediately moving on to the next task, the person takes some time to reflect on the encounter. They think about their own actions and how they contributed to the situation. They consider what they could have done differently to improve the outcome. They also reflect on their feelings and emotions during the meeting and how they may have affected their behavior. Through this process of reflective thinking, the person learns that they could have been more assertive in standing up for their own ideas and that they need to be more aware of their own emotions in high-stress situations. They also recognize that they should have prepared more thoroughly for the meeting. In the future, the person is better equipped to handle similar situations because they have taken the time to reflect and learn from their past experience. They will be more assertive and aware of their emotions and will make sure to prepare more thoroughly for important meetings. This is an example of how reflective thinking can help us learn from our experiences and improve our behavior in the future. 1. Reflective thinking gives you true perspective. Jehan is describing how they used this kind of thinking with their children when they were young by encouraging them to reflect on their experiences on family vacations. The speaker would ask the children two questions: what did you like best? And what did you learn? To prompt them to think about what they enjoyed and what they learned from the experience. The speaker's goal was to help the children appreciate the trips more and to gain more insight from them. This is an example of how reflective thinking can be used to help children gain a deeper understanding of their experiences. The author recognizes that children don't always grasp the value of an experience and may take things for granted. That's why they wanted to encourage them to reflect and appreciate their trips more. It also helps in putting an experience into perspective, evaluating its timing, and gaining a new appreciation for things that before went unnoticed. The speaker also mentions that reflection can also help in gaining a new perspective, like being able to recognize the sacrifices of their parents or other people only when they become parents themselves. It allows individuals to gain a deeper understanding of themselves and their experiences, and to make more informed decisions in the future. 2. Reflective thinking gives emotional integrity to your thought life. In the heat of an emotional moment, few people possess the ability to maintain a clear perspective. Often, individuals seek to relive the thrill of an experience without first taking the time to evaluate it, leading to a culture of thrill-seeking. Similarly, those who have gone through a traumatic experience tend to avoid similar situations at all costs, which can result in emotional turmoil. Reflective thinking provides the opportunity to detach oneself from the strong emotions of positive or negative experiences and view them with a fresh perspective. By reflecting on past thrills, one can gain a mature perspective and evaluate tragedies objectively. This process can assist in letting go of negative emotional baggage and increase self-awareness and understanding of one's experiences. President George Washington observed, "We ought not to look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. Any feeling that can stand up to the light of truth and can be sustained over time has emotional integrity and is therefore worthy of your mind and heart." 3. Reflective thinking increases your confidence in decision-making. Have you ever made a snap judgment and later wondered if you did the right thing? Everybody has. Reflective thinking can help to diffuse that doubt. It also gives you confidence for the next decision. Once you've reflected on an issue, you don't have to repeat every step of the thinking process when you're faced with it again. You've got mental road markers from having been there before. That compresses and speeds up thinking time, and it gives you confidence. And over time, it can also strengthen your intuition. Imagine you are a manager at a company and you have to make a decision about which candidate to hire for a new position. After reviewing resumes and interviewing several candidates, you make a decision and hire one of them. However, after a few months, you start to have doubts about your decision and wonder if you chose the right candidate. By engaging in reflective thinking, you can look back on the decision-making process and evaluate what went well and what you could have done differently. This can help you understand why you made the decision you did and whether or not it was the right one. Additionally, by reflecting on this experience, you can create mental road markers that you can use in the future when faced with similar hiring decisions. This will not only save you time, but also increase your confidence in your decision-making abilities. 4. Reflective thinking clarifies the big picture. It allows for a deeper understanding of events and experiences by putting them into context. It encourages us to take the time to ponder and examine past actions and observations. For instance, if someone who lost their job reflects on the events leading up to their dismissal, they may be able to identify patterns that contributed to their dismissal. Through reflection, they can gain insight into what happened, why it happened, and what they could have done differently. Additionally, by looking at the developments that occurred afterward, they may come to realize that the new position they have is better suited to their skills and desires. Without reflective thinking, it can be challenging to see the big picture and understand the overall significance of events. 5. Reflective thinking takes a good experience and makes it a valuable experience. When you were just starting out in your career, did it seem that few people were willing to give someone without experience an opportunity? At the same time, could you see people who had been on their jobs 20 years who yet did their work poorly? If so, that probably frustrated you. Playwright William Shakespeare wrote, "Experience is a jewel, and it had need be so, for it is often purchased at an infinite rate." Yet, experience alone does not add value to a life. It's not necessarily experience that is valuable, it's the insight people gain because of their experience. Reflective thinking turns experience into insight. Mark Twain said, "We should be careful to get out of an experience all the wisdom that is in it, not like the cat that sits down on a hot stove lid. She will never sit down on a hot stove lid again, and that is well, but also she will never sit down on a cold one anymore." An experience becomes valuable when it informs or equips us to meet new experiences. Reflective thinking helps to do that. For example, after a successful project, an individual can reflect on what made the project successful and how they can replicate those elements in future projects. This can lead to improved performance, increased efficiency, and professional development. Reflecting on negative experiences, on the other hand, allows individuals to learn from their mistakes and make better decisions next time. Reflective thinking transforms a good experience into a valuable one by turning it into an opportunity for growth and development. How to embrace the lessons of reflective thinking. If you are like most people in our culture today, you probably do very little reflective thinking. If that's the case, it may be holding you back more than you think. Take to heart the following suggestions to increase your ability to think reflectively. 1. Set aside time for reflection. Greek philosopher Socrates observed, "The unexamined life is not worth living." For most people, however, reflection and self-examination doesn't come naturally. It can be a fairly uncomfortable activity for a variety of reasons. They have a hard time staying focused, they find the process dull, or they don't like spending a lot of time thinking about emotionally difficult issues. But if you don't carve out the time for it, you are unlikely to do any reflective thinking. Set aside time for reflection means to allocate a specific period of time during the day or week to think about one's experiences, thoughts, and emotions. This can be done through journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in silence and focusing on the present moment. Reflecting on one's experiences can help a person gain insight into their actions and behavior, identify patterns in their thinking, and make positive changes in their life. It can also help to improve mental well-being and reduce stress. 2. Remove yourself from distractions. Like all other types of thought, introspection necessitates privacy. Reflection and diversion don't go together. It's not the kind of thing you can perform successfully when the phone is ringing, while the television is on, in a cubicle, or with kids present in the same room. One of the reasons I've been able to accomplish so much in continuing developing personally is because I've not only made time for reflection, but also removed myself from distractions for little periods of time, such as a few hours in a cozy chair at my office or a few hours in the spa. It doesn't matter where you are as long as you are away from interruptions and distractions. An employee who is working on an important project with a tight deadline, in order to meet the deadline, they may set a goal to work on the project for several hours every day, and during that time, they will close all unnecessary tabs and apps on their computer, put their phone on silent, and move to a quiet room or working area. They could also schedule specific times during the day to check and respond to emails, rather than constantly checking their inbox throughout the day. This allows them to focus fully on their work and complete the project on time. 3. Regularly review your calendar or journal. The majority of people use their calendar as a tool for planning, which it is. However, few people use it as a tool for contemplative thought. But other than a journal, what could be better for assisting you in reviewing where you have been and what you have done? I don't keep a journal in the traditional sense. I don't use writing to express my thoughts and feelings. Instead, I identify my thoughts and feelings before jotting down important ideas and next steps. The ideas are written down so I can easily access them later. I carry out the action items right away or assign them to someone else. You are reminded of how you've spent your time by calendars and journals, which also help you determine whether your priorities are being met and whether you are making progress. Additionally, they provide you the chance to think back on experiences that you previously might not have had the chance to do so. You might have missed some of your best ideas because you didn't allow yourself the necessary time for reflection. 4. Ask the right questions. The value you receive from reflecting will depend on the kinds of questions you ask yourself. The better the questions, the more gold you will mine from your thinking. When I reflect, I think in terms of my values, relationships, and experiences. Here are some sample questions. Personal growth. What have I learned today that will help me grow? How can I apply it to my life? When should I apply it? Adding value. To whom did I add value today? How do I know I added value to that person? Can I follow up and compound the positive benefit he or she received? Leadership. Did I lead by example today? Did I lift my people and organization to a higher level? What did I do and how did I do it? Personal faith. Did I represent God well today? Did I practice the golden rule? Have I walked the second mile with someone? Marriage and family. Did I communicate love to my family today? How did I show that love? Did they feel it? Did they return it? Inner circle. Have I spent enough time with my key players? What can I do to help them be more successful? In what areas can I mentor them? Discoveries. What did I encounter today to which I need to give more thinking time? Are there lessons to be learned? Are there things to be done? How you organize your reflection time is up to you. You may want to adapt my pattern to your own values, or you can try a system that my friend Dick Biggs uses. He creates 3 columns on a sheet of paper. Year, turning point, impact. This system is good for reflecting on the bigger picture. Dick used it to see patterns in his life, such as when he moved to Atlanta and was encouraged by a new teacher to write. You could just as easily write event, significance, and action point on a page to help you benefit from reflective thinking. The main thing is to create questions that work for you and write down any significant thoughts that come to you during the reflection time. 5. Cement your learning through action. Thoughts that come to you during contemplative thinking are valuable to write down. Nothing advances your development more than acting on such ideas. You have to be purposeful in doing that. For instance, whenever you read a good book, you can always learn something from it that you can apply to your own life. When I finish a book, I always highlight the key points and reread them. I take notes after listening to a message so that I can store the key points for later use. I take thorough notes at seminars and utilize a system of symbols to remind me what to do. An arrow like this means to look at this material again. An asterisk like this next to a marked section means to file it according to the subject noted. A bracket like this means that I want to use what's marked in a lecture or book. An arrow like this means this idea will take off if I work at it. Most individuals love attending conferences and seminars, listen to the presenters, and occasionally even take notes. But once they get home, nothing occurs. Many of the ideas they hear are appealing to them, but as they close their notebooks, they stop thinking about them. When it occurs, people merely experience a brief boost in motivation. Consider what you learned at conferences again, give it some thought, and then put it into practice. This could alter your life. Ultimately, reflective thinking has 3 main values. It gives me perspective within context, it allows me to continually connect with my journey, and it provides counsel and direction concerning my future. It is an invaluable tool to my personal growth. Few things in life can help me learn and improve the way reflective thinking can. Perseverance story. Why does it take so long for a bamboo tree to grow? Once a man got frustrated with life. Despite all the hard work and effort, failure was all that he learned. Feeling defeated with life, he left everything and exiled himself in the woods. There he met a hermit. The disappointed man shared his failures with the hermit. "Give me one good reason not to quit," he pleaded the hermit. "Look," the hermit said, pointing towards 2 plants. "Do you see that fern and bamboo there?" "Yes," the man nodded. "When I planted the fern and the bamboo seeds, I took very good care of them. I gave them water, light, and fertilizer. Within a short period of time, the fern quickly grew from the earth," the hermit continued. But despite the bamboo seed being watered and nurtured for years, it did not outwardly grow as much as an inch. In fact, nothing at all happened in the first year. There was no sign of growth. But I did not give up on the bamboo seed and continued to water and nurture it. By the 5th year, a tiny sprout emerged from the earth, and within 6 months, the tree grew 100 feet tall. So, did the bamboo tree lie dormant for 4 years only to grow exponentially in the 5th? The hermit asked. Baffled by the question, the man kept quiet. The answer is quite obvious. The little tree was growing underground, developing a root system strong enough to support its potential for outward growth in the 5th year and beyond. Had the tree not developed a strong foundation, it would not have sustained its life as it grew. "Did you know that all the time you had been struggling, you were growing strong roots?" remarked the hermit. The man learned his lesson that day. He learned the value of persistence and hard work. The fern and the bamboo stood right in front of him as he walked towards his life to continue to work on his dreams. Moral of the story: many people start learning new things and doing things differently, but after some time give up as they do not see results right away. Everything takes time. Everything is a process. Be hungry for knowledge. Be hungry for the experience, but at the same time be patient for results. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will become rich one day. And I promise to help you and give you everything you need to be able to walk the path of wealth. But be ready.